The stunning ring system around Saturn, which is composed of ice bits of rock and dust, is thought to have originated when asteroids, comets, and bits of moons broke apart under the gravitational pull of Saturn. The ring's fragments range in size from enormous rocks the size of mountains to tiny dust particles. According to NASA, Saturn's rings are extremely thin, with an average vertical height of just 30 feet, 10 meters, in the main rings, despite extending up to 175,000 miles, 282,000 kilometers, from the planet. The main rings are the A, B, and C rings, while the D, E, F, and G rings are fainter and more recently discovered. The rings are named according to the order in which they were found. The distance between the A and B rings is 2,920 miles, 4,700 kilometers. The extremely faint ring in the Phoebe ring of Saturn can be seen very far away. Ring rain, a phenomenon where material is constantly falling from the rings toward Saturn, means that the magnificent ring system is likely to be exhausted in as little as 100 million years. According to NASA, 4 robotic probes have traveled to Saturn. According to the Planetary Society, the Pioneer 11 spacecraft left Earth on April 5, 1973, and finished a flyby of the ring giant on September 1, 1979. Together with Voyager 2, which arrived at Saturn in 1981, NASA's Voyager 1 passed Saturn in 1980 and captured nearly 16,000 images of the planet, its moons, and its rings. The 2 probes gathered information on the planet's magnetic field and atmosphere, as well as 3 new moons and the intricate ring system. Voyager 2 was directed up and out of the plane of the ecliptic, which is the plane in which all of the planets orbit the Sun, after encountering Titan, the largest moon. This gave researchers an overhead view of the planet and its rings. According to ESA, the NASA-ESA Joint Cassini-Huygens mission, which launched from Earth in 1997 and arrived to the ringed gas giant in 2004, performed the most in-depth investigation of Saturn. In 2005, the Huygens probe made its first robot landing on a moon in the outer solar system when it touched down on Titan. As it dropped, it captured breathtaking images of the ocean, river channels, and mountains. According to the Planetary Society, Cassini continued to orbit Saturn until September 15, 2017, completing 294 orbits before entering the atmosphere of the planet. According to NASA, Saturn orbits the Sun on average at a distance of 886 million miles, 1.4 billion kilometers, which means that one Saturnian year lasts around 29.4 Earth years. Sunlight typically travels from the Sun to Saturn in 80 minutes. At barely 10.7 hours, the planet has the second shortest day in the solar system, after only Jupiter, 9.93 hours. With an axial tilt of around 26.73 degrees with regard to its orbit of the Sun, compared to Earth's 23.5 degrees, Saturn has seasons that are quite similar to those of our own planet. According to the European Space Agency, ESA, water, methane, and ammonia are only present in trace levels in Saturn's atmosphere, which is made up of 96% hydrogen and 4% helium. NASA estimates that its diameter is 36,183 miles, 58,232 kilometers, making it 9 times larger than Earth. The planet is composed of a dense core formed of metals like iron and nickel that is around by rocky material. The rocky material is then surrounded by liquid metallic hydrogen that is subject to extreme pressures and temperatures. Recent studies have suggested that Saturn's core is not a solid sphere like the Earth's, but rather a fuzzy soup made up of rocks, ice, and metallic fluids that slosh about and alter the construction of its enormous rings through gravitational pull. According to NASA, the uppermost layers of Saturn are composed of spinning gases that are largely hydrogen and helium with traces of water, ammonia, and methane. As pressures and temperatures rise deeper into the planet, these gases change into liquids. With an average density less than that of water, it is the least dense planet in the solar system and would float in a very large bathtub. The winds in Saturn's upper atmosphere can reach astonishing speeds of 1,090 miles per hour, 1,755 kilometers per hour in its equatorial regions, which is much faster than the winds produced by storms on Earth. At the planet's North Pole, a mysterious and peculiar hexagonal-shaped storm system is formed by the planet's clouds, which are various colors of brown, yellow, and gray. On Saturn, lightning is believed to be 10,000 times more powerful than that on Earth. NASA's Cassini probe also observed a storm that had an impact on the planet's weather for more than 3 years. According to the organization, Saturn's poles are noticeably flattened as a result of its rapid rotation velocity. Saturn is undoubtedly the most beautiful planet in our solar system because of its magnificent ring system. It is the second largest globe orbiting the Sun after Jupiter and is situated sixth from the Sun. All of the other large planets, including Jupiter, Uranus, and Neptune, have ring systems, although Saturn is best known for its rings. But Saturn stands out due to its stunning streaks of yellow and gold that adorn its surface, as well as the fact that it has the most moons of any planet in the solar system, some of which are among the greatest locations to look for extraterrestrial life. According to NASA, knowledge of Saturn dates back to ancient times. Our contemporary name for it is derived from the Roman god of riches and agriculture, Saturn, and it is the planet that is the furthest away from Earth that is still visible with the unaided eye in the night sky. According to the educational website The 9 Planets, Saturn was known by the names Kronos in Greek and Sani in Sanskrit. Sa, Tai, Zuhal, Arabic, Kavan, Farsi, Tuxing, meaning star of soil in Mandarin, and Kyamanu are some further prehistoric names for the planet, Babylonian. Did you know that a tiny telescope may be used to view Saturn's rings? A large telescope would enable you to distinguish several of Saturn's distinct rings. Up until recently, Saturn's day duration was a mystery. Because Saturn lacks a solid surface, it was actually quite challenging to determine its rotational speed. Astronomers had to come up with a creative solution, the magnetic field. Unlike Mercury, you can't merely observe to see how long it takes for a single crater to rotate back into view. Astronomers had to gauge the magnetic field's rotation to establish Saturn's rotational speed. According to one estimate, Saturn's orbital rotation takes 10 hours and 14 minutes, whereas Cassini's measurement of the rotational time was 10 hours and 45 minutes. The standard day is now 10 hours, 32 minutes, and 35 seconds, according to astronomers. Initially, astronomers believed the rings to be moons. Galileo could see Saturn and its rings when he first pointed his crude telescope at Saturn in 1610, but he had no idea what he was seeing. He speculated that the rings might actually be two sizable moons affixed to Saturn's side, acting as its ears. The Dutch astronomer Christian Huygens didn't utilize a superior telescope to examine Saturn until 1655. He had the insight to understand that Saturn's two moons were really rings, a thin, flat ring, nowhere touching, and inclined to the ecliptic. Titan, Saturn's biggest moon, was first uncovered by Huygens. Saturn's rapid axial rotation causes the planet to flatten out into an oblate spheroid. Seriously, when you look at a photograph of Saturn, you can tell that the planet appears to have been somewhat compressed. Naturally, the equator is bulging out because of the rapid spinning that is compressing it. The distance from the center to each of the poles is 54,000 kilometers, however it is 60,300 kilometers to the equator. In other words, places near the poles are 6,300 kilometers closer to the center than those near the equator. Points near the equator are farther away from the planet's center than they are on Earth, a phenomena that also occurs there, but it is considerably more dramatic on Saturn. That was for today. Thank you for staying with us. Don't forget to like our video and subscribe to our channel.